I'm Charlie Behrens, and this is The Dark Side Of. Every day, millions of people use rideshare apps. They're a safe way to get home after a night out, or at least they should be. We're about to sit down with Carla Westland, who was raped by a man pretending to be her rideshare driver.
Police are investigating this case, and it involves an Uber imposter.
I just wanted to get out of the car.
I'd like to warn you that parts of Carla's story are graphic and disturbing.
In the back of my mind, I knew that there was a chance that I might not make it at the end of the night.
Well, thank you so much for sitting down with us. Why don't we just start by you taking us back to that night?
I was out at a bar for a friend's birthday. The night was ending, the bar was closing, and I got separated from my friends, so I was by myself, and I was trying to go to my boyfriend's place. So I ordered a rideshare, and there was lots of cars in the street, lots of Ubers, lots of Lyfts, and a car pulls up that I thought was my driver. It had an Uber sticker and everything. So I got in. At that point, I was really exhausted, and I fell asleep in the back seat. So then I woke up, we were parked somewhere, and he was in the back seat with me, and he was banging my head against the seat.
In that moment, you're, woken up. What's going through your head?
My first instinct is to just think, like, get off me. Like, what are you doing? Like, I didn't actually believe that I was being attacked. I was just very confused and was like, stop, like, get off me. And I was fighting him, and then he wasn't giving up, and he just got stronger and stronger. So I was fighting as hard as I possibly could. I had like a fat lip. I had blood going down my neck from a new ear piercing. He had me by the hair, so my head was super, super sore. And it was at that point that I realized I needed to flip tactics, and I completely went into survival mode, and I realized that I need to make this guy feel as comfortable and as calm as possible, because if he thinks for 1 second that I'm gonna be the girl that goes to the cops, then he's gonna kill me.
Carla had no idea that when she got into what she thought was her Uber, it would end up being the most traumatic 4 hours of her life.
He told me to take off my clothes, and I did, and then I was raped, and like at that point in time, I'm thinking about like my family, and I don't have any children, but I was thinking about the children that I haven't had, and like all the things that I wish I had done with my life. I could tell that actually at the end of the assault that he was starting to panic and kind of start to wonder what he should do next.
So where does your mind go then?
So I remember seeing on a Grey's Anatomy episode that if you talk about your life to an attacker, they'll be less inclined to hurt you. So with that in mind, I just started rambling about my life. I was like, I'm from Chicago. I moved here a year and a half ago. I have a cat named Charlie. And then he started crying. And then he started opening up about his life. It just kind of turned into this bizarre therapy session. He's like, you know what? I want to take you to where you were going. I want to take you to your boyfriend's place. Like trying to make me think that he was a nice guy. And at that point, I'm panicking because I'm thinking he's going to drive me to a warehouse somewhere and kill me. He had me laying down in the back seat so I wouldn't look around to see where we were. And then we pull up near an alley near my boyfriend's place. He put my phone on a stump far away so that I wouldn't turn around and take a picture of his license plate. I just got out of the car, grabbed all my stuff, and then he just zoomed off.
At this point, can any emotion that you've pent up or repressed hit you?
Oh, absolutely. And I say I was keeping my cool for 3 hours, and I've never been more hysterical in my life. Like I was stuttering, I was just crying so hard. It just all caught up with me, and I called my boyfriend, and he came running down to get me.
What did you say to him?
I just remember saying on the phone, because he was like, what's wrong? Like, what's wrong? What happened? And I just said, I couldn't even say it. It was just like the worst thing happened, like the worst possible thing that you can imagine happened. And then he just knew, he knew what happened just by looking at me. So he just called the ambulance right away. And otherwise, I don't know if I would have even gone to report, because I just wanted to go to sleep and go in a corner and kind of recoup from what just happened to me.
Although Carla was now safe and out of harm's way, her nightmare was far from over.
So what happens after you're released from the hospital?
I was assigned a detective, and you could tell he was really preparing me that we were not gonna find him. He was supposed to investigate all the cameras, and I guess the camera footage gets deleted after 30 days. So actually my detective missed the opportunity to find the footage if there was any footage. I spoke about what happened to me on social media right afterwards, because I just felt like this is exactly the thing that needs to be talked about. So I made this status about it and explained exactly what happened and how I got out of the situation. And I just had an outpouring of love and support. People, strangers messaging me, telling me the same thing happened to them, and they didn't have courage to speak out about it till seeing my post. Through that, I was linked to the nonprofit that I now work with called PAVE, which stands for Promoting Awareness Victim Empowerment. They provide advocacy and support to sexual assault victims and education to law enforcement and schools across the country. So they actually agreed to take on my case and help me investigate.
So it sounds like you weren't getting anywhere with the detective. How did the case move forward?
This happened on January 7th of 2017, and no DNA came back in the system. It wasn't until December that I get a phone call from my new detective that was assigned to my case telling me that there's been a huge break in my case.
This is a newly released mugshot tonight of 44-year-old Nicholas Morales.
She told me that there was an arrest made for the same thing, a sexual assault fake rideshare driver.
It happened here in Hollywood. The woman was leaving the club across the street when she got into a car that she thought was her Uber.
They took the DNA and it went through the system and hit back to 7 other women.
California man is accused of raping or sexually assaulting 7 women.
He's facing more than 24 charges, including rape and sodomy by use of force.
How did you not let this define you?
It was just through helping other people, me making that first post and having so many survivors reach out to me, tell me the same thing happened to them, and to see how much it affected them. And so I just feel like it's my duty to make the best of it and do what I can with it and be able to speak out on any platform I can just to help people.
Carla, thank you for sharing your story. Your strength is really incredible.
Thank you so much.